So you have 9 of the most powerful people in the entire United States. They make decisions that literally shape the lives of hundreds of millions of people. But, beyond the black robes and all the marble columns, there's a completely different story. And it's one of significant personal wealth. Today, we're going to break down the finances of the Supreme Court.
Okay, so let's just dive right into it. Using data that Forbes put together, we can get a really clear picture of where each of the 9 justices stands, financially. And honestly, the numbers, they might actually surprise you.
All right, so the very first thing that just jumps right off the page is the sheer scale at the top. I mean, look at Chief Justice John Roberts. He stands way out with an estimated net worth of $25 million. And to put that into perspective for you, that's more than double his next wealthiest colleague, Justice Alito. And believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, when we look at the full court, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. Every single one of them is a millionaire. Even if you look at the lower end of the spectrum, you've got Justices Jackson and Kavanaugh at an estimated $2 million each. They're still comfortably in the top few percent of American households. So that kind of begs the question, right? How does this stack up against what they actually earn from their day jobs? Well, their official salaries are definitely substantial. No question about it. We're talking around $300,000 a year. But it's also pretty clear that these salaries alone don't build a multi-million-dollar net worth. So how does that happen? Let's zoom in on one justice's financial journey to see if we can figure it out. Let's take a look at the story of Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Now, when she was nominated back in 2009, she reported a net worth of about $750,000. Fast forward to today, it's estimated at $5 million. Her journey really gives us a fascinating window into how wealth can be built while sitting on the bench. Her path is just remarkable. I mean, think about it. From a housing project in the Bronx, she goes to Princeton and then to Yale Law. She worked as a prosecutor, then in private practice, before getting a whole series of judicial appointments by 3 different presidents from both political parties. And, her personal history is absolutely central to her public identity. She has famously called herself a product of affirmative action, arguing that, while she might have needed some help to get to the starting line, her achievements since then absolutely speak for themselves. This quote you see here from a speech in 2001 became a huge focus during her confirmation hearings. So, back to the big question, how did her wealth grow from that initial $750,000 all the way up to an estimated $5 million today? Well, as we're about to see, it's about a lot more than just her salary. If you take a look at her 2023 financial disclosure, it reveals that her portfolio is heavily weighted towards real estate. It makes up over 3/4 of her assets. But there's another piece to this puzzle that has become a really significant source of income for her. And boom, here it is. This is a major piece of the puzzle. In 2023 alone, Justice Sotomayor earned over $86,000 just from book royalties. Her super popular memoir, My Beloved World, and her children's books have created this substantial income stream that's completely separate from her judicial salary and her investments. And this story of building wealth through outside income isn't unique to Justice Sotomayor, not at all, and it's part of a much, much wider debate about wealth ethics and perception on the court. The fact is, many justices have seen their wealth increase dramatically while on the court. Chief Justice Roberts' net worth? It grew from around $5 million to $25 million. Justice Alito's? From $2 million to $10 million. So what's going on here? Okay, now to be fair, a lot of this growth can be chalked up to pretty standard financial factors. The last 15 years have seen really strong market returns, and real estate values, especially around DC, have just soared. But it's not the simple, boring investing that has drawn all this intense public scrutiny. It's the specific ways some justices have earned and received money. That's where things get complicated. And all this scrutiny has just fueled a massive debate over potential conflicts of interest and whether the Supreme Court needs a much more stringent, actually binding code of ethics. So this scrutiny, according to reporting from all sorts of outlets, has really centered on specific allegations. For Justice Thomas, it's his relationship with the billionaire Harlan Crow. For Justice Alito, it was an undisclosed luxury vacation paid for by a hedge funder. And for Justice Sotomayor, there were allegations that her staff was promoting sales of her books. Now, in each case, the justices have denied any wrongdoing. And their defenders argue that these situations are either normal for high-level professionals or that the controversies themselves vary widely in their severity.
And this gets right to the heart of the matter. These aren't just numbers on a page, right? They raise these fundamental questions about the court's relationship with you, with the American people. How do we make sure that the private finances of these incredibly powerful public servants don't end up undermining public trust and their impartiality?
So in 2023, the court adopted its first ever formal ethics code. But critics are quick to point out that without any real enforcement mechanism, it's kind of a code without consequences. And as this debate continues, you can bet the financial disclosures of the justices will remain a critical focus, leaving us all with a final question. In a democracy, who gets to judge the judges?